VOA, 7th of February 2024, China is increasing Tibetan-occupied people's digital surveillance. Since China invaded Tibet in 1959, the country has been occupying the region unlawfully and has made every effort to eradicate Tibetan culture, language, and identity. The Chinese government is increasing its digital surveillance of Tibetans, according to a new report by Tibetan activist groups and experts. This surveillance takes the form of big data policing platforms that American tech companies back or require the installation of apps at police checkpoints. According to some researchers, these recent discoveries offer a window into Beijing's security network in Tibet. The report provides an insight into the functioning of the Chinese government's apparatus in Tibet, although it is still a mystery to the outside world. Greg Walton, a senior investigator at Secdev Group, a security consulting firm based in the United Kingdom, and one of the report's authors, spoke with VOA over the phone. According to a study by Tibet Watch and Turquoise Roof, a research network devoted to Tibet, Tibetan citizens have been asked by the government to download the National Anti-Fraud Center app to their smartphones since 2021. Tibetans have testified that although local authorities have been training the public how to download and use the security app, police would regularly ask citizens to install it on their smartphones at checkpoints. Some Tibetans have raised concerns that the software might be used to follow them around and perhaps access phone data. An unidentified Tibetan man told Tibet Watch in 2023, "It looks like a surveillance app that tracks not only our movement but also has built-in automatic voice recording and photo sharing functionalities." The report's investigation of the app revealed that the rights it requested from smartphone users may provide app developers access to private user information or control over specific device features. According to the research, the wide range of licenses may allow authorities to carry out extremely intrusive surveillance, which is consistent with the kinds of tactics that Chinese authorities generally employ to keep the peace in areas like Tibet and Xinjiang. According to the report, our analysis suggests that data controlled by the anti-fraud app could connect into wider systems operated by the Criminal Investigation Bureau, and the app could be harvested as a platform for monitoring and controlling the population, particularly in suppressing dissent and cultural expression, if it is required to be installed at police checkpoints. The research looked into the Tibet Underworld Criminal Integrated Intelligence Application Platform, a big data policing tool utilized by Tibetan authorities, in addition to the forced installation of the anti-fraud app. Based on the technology developed by American tech company Oracle, their analysis of government procurement notices indicates that the platform integrates data from multiple public security bureau systems in Tibet and plays a crucial role in Chinese authorities' efforts to criminalize language rights advocacy or moderate cultural and religious expressions. The platform can only be accessed through the Public Security Bureau's internal network, and authorities request that contractors replace the Oracle database with a Chinese equivalent. The report stated that the platform is intended to improve the efficacy and efficiency of law enforcement in Tibet. According to evidence, Chinese law enforcement tactics in Tibet appear to be more invasive than those employed in other regions of the country, according to Walton of Secdev Group, who spoke with VOA. He stated, "The big data systems track the kinship networks of Tibetans or analyze their social networks to surface what the Chinese party state defines as organized crimes using machine learning." Walton believes that international corporations have a clear responsibility to make sure their goods are not used to support the Chinese government's efforts to crack down on civilians or ethnic minorities, as the big data policing platform is built on top of Oracle technologies. "I think these companies should do human rights impact assessments to see what impact their software will have, when it's used for policing purposes in China," he said. Human rights organizations have made clear the negative impacts of big data policing system, driven by software sold by Oracle. VOA reached out to Oracle for comment, they did not reply. According to the research, the goal of the Chinese government's use of big data policing platforms in Xinjiang and Tibet is to accomplish control and suppression through intelligence-led policing. According to some experts, the Chinese government's campaign against ethnic minorities is a component of a larger initiative to establish a totalitarian social control state. Human Rights Watch's interim China director, Maya Wang, told VOA over the phone that the Chinese government is developing these more modern social control mechanisms that are supposed to make all aspects of society controllable. They are also screening people, and those who are considered politically unreliable are held in re-education camps or prisons since the ethnic groups are at the short end of the Chinese state repression and social control when the surveillance systems are running in the background in Tibet or Xinjiang, she continued. The Chinese embassy in the United States dismissed the report's assertion that Beijing is stepping up its digital surveillance of Tibetans as baseless accusations. According to Lu Pengyu, the spokeswoman for the Chinese embassy in the U.S., China is a country under the rule of law, and the privacy of Chinese citizens is fully protected by law, regardless of their ethnicity. The response was sent in writing to VOA. The research claimed that as Beijing uses digital surveillance to tighten its grip over Tibet, Tibetans are communicating differently, and this is having a chilling effect on society throughout the region. According to the research, this trend often leads to a complete breakdown of contact. According to some Tibetan activists, the Chinese government's efforts to perfect the region's digital monitoring architecture would have a profound psychological effect on the people living there, compelling them to engage in self-censorship. Tenzin Choakie, a senior researcher at Tibet Watch, told VOA over the phone that Tibetans will be even more careful with what they say or write on their phones. She also predicted that maintaining contact between Tibetans in China and the diaspora population would probably become more challenging.